Yo, come on, come all, nothing but love, nothing but respect. You know what we do, what we don't, what we is, what we isn't, and what we is here today. After a whole damn month break, we're here for One Piece, chapter 1054. God damn, it has been forever. I am so damn excited. Chat's already getting excited too. Yo, good to see you, Glitter. Good to see you, Sage. Good to see you, Ged. I could easily say this chapter is in top 10 for the entire... Don't say that. Don't say that. I just... Before going live, right? I did the normal tweet that I'm going live. Saw that Akai, Inu, and Yamato were trending, and I'm like, what? Very odd people to be trending this week, but I'm curious. I've titled this video Green Bull's Onslaught because last chapter ended off with Green Bull about to smack hands, but I have no idea which way we're gonna go now. That being said, we got Luffy on the front cover here, looking schmick and slick as anything. But behind Luffy is that Enma? On the front cover? Oh, either way. Yo, it feels so good. I can see Luffy in his straw hat. Yo. It's good to see the return of the straw hat. You know, guys? It's good to see it. Alright, let's get into this. So, if you haven't read the chapter yet, and you are just looking for the link for the chapter, right? Or... if you just want to read along with me, the link to the chapter is in my Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description down below, alright? Go join the Discord, go over to the chapter links, bada bing, bada boom, you'll be all set there. Alternatively as well, you can also check out all the other socials. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon for more notifications for content like this. Let me know what number subscriber you are. We're still trying to hit our goal of 150 subscribers, and... since I've been away on vacation, my prolonged honeymoon, all the stats for the channel have tanked. So you gotta do your part and help out. So don't be afraid to share and all that good stuff, alright? Ooh, Sage is already saying he wins a bet. I'm not gonna ask for clarification. I'll read first, alright? But yeah, let's get into this. Ooh! Yo, look at that spread of the four emperors. Yo, I love the buggy. The Yo, wait, I can do that better. The Yo, he's looking like a Yo, he has memed his way to the top. That shit-eating grin. I love it. Absolutely love it. Yo, Shanks is looking awfully mean and awfully handsome as always. Blackbeard, low-key, Shanks and Blackbeard are looking a little sus with the pink eyes. Unless that's... that is how they depict observation haki being used in the anime, so are you trying to give us a bit of a hint there, or what? Because, let me know, chat. I've never noticed if they've been betrayed as having pink eyes in the past. But, yeah, it's definitely interesting. Anyway, we've also got Luffy in Gear 5, yo. The Yonko look clean here. And you know it's good, because you know Oda, right? You know Oda has been dying to draw this part of the story. So I've been making jokes about it all week, right? Where it really seems like, you know, and I've seen it all over TikTok and stuff like that. 25 years of setup. But what they don't understand is, like, I know it's been delayed a bit. Oda originally planned for the series to be 5 years. So I'm wondering if if he was a bit delayed because of COVID and all that, and the 5-year original plan of the story starts from here. Because weirdly enough, we got Shanks, we got Buggy, we got Luffy, and Blackbeard was shown a little later on, right? But he was always planned to be one of the Yonko, or one of the 4 big pirates. So we've pretty much reset the shuffleboard here, so that's definitely interesting. Yo, bombastic clown Buggy Sencho. Yo, my dude Buggy out here, he's laughing in the faces of everyone. But, yo, let's get into this. Yes! First page. Thank the fucking gods! It's Green Bull. Oh, I was getting worried that we were going to cut away from it. Whoa! Chapter 1054, Flame Emperor. Wait. Are we getting Sabo this chapter? Wait. Oh, we're going to cut away from Wano. I can feel it! Flower capital Wano. Denjiro, you too? We can't trouble Luffy and the others with this. Follow us, cat. Huh? Conflict stirs amid the festivities. I feel that I was reading that Oda statement. Yo, who knows, Sage, who knows? Yo, look at Green Bull clean with his... I'm telling you, that's still a black blade, man. The ability to sway others. That really is something you don't see very often. You samurai should buzz off while you can. Oh! Oh, they've gone to throw down. It's the mini rooftop battle all over again. It's the rooftop, but now it's on the ground level. Yo, look at that though. The second he steps on the ground, everything starts like just all the fauna just goes. A marine, one of Luffy's enemies from overseas. Yup. Yo, don't look at the left side of the page. Yo, read this in chronological order. I need to zoom out. What? Oh, that's the wrong tab. Hang on. Here we go. Zoom out. I've got to see this one all as one page. A marine? One of Luffy's enemies from overseas? Do you have any clue? Do any of you have the first clue about the ways of the outside world? Yo, and all of him starting to turn all plant-like. The celestial dragons are... I'm sorry, what? The celestial dragons are gods. A country like this? One with no ties to the world government has no standing. Great Bull really was just like, yo, bitch, if you ain't our ally, I can kill you. I don't care. Oh, don't be mad. It's how the world works. Yo, and he starts going in, and Inarashi's just like doing all, like, just immediately trying to defend himself from these plant tendrils. Flexing forest muscle. The forest fruit made me a forest. It's a Logia! What? The forest fruit made me a forest man. My Logia is a nature incarnate power. A source of life that rivals the sea? What? No, and he just put his hands in the ground. He's got full Hashirama. It's a Logia. What? What? Oh, wait. Yo, Sage, I'm telling you. I'm right. I called it. Hit the nail on the head, right? Remember a couple... when he was only introduced, like, the last stream or the stream before that, right? You know how I was saying... it feels like a month ago, so it's so hard to remember. You know how I was freaking saying, right? Or it might not have even been on stream, but I've been saying for a minute, right? Because he looks like he's wood, so I was leaning towards it being a zone, like a tree zone, since like trees are a living thing. But okay, if it's forest Logia, so it's just fauna in general, which is crazy, right? The fact it's a Logia, what this might actually be is instead of him being intangible, right? The wood has a passive healing ability to the extent of Marco. Because you know how like you cut a tree and it just reforms eventually? So, if this is a Logia, like if say this isn't a bad translation, right? This dude right here is a solid like Logia like our Kiji, but where our Kiji shatters and reforms, this guy just tanks hit and heals. So he's like, he's a solid form of Marco's Phoenix ability. Plus, seemingly from this, the utility of Katakuri just being able to spawn shit everywhere. Oh, My 10 billion bet. Yo. A source of life that rivals the sea. And everyone's just partying away. It's time you learned a hard truth. Humanity only got this far by enforcing hierarchies. We've got to put non-affiliated nations like yours in their place. That order is what keeps life going. Prejudice breeds stability. Greenbull's a bigot! He's scum! And the worst part is, I actually like that there's someone that's just like straight up a piece of shit. Like, honestly, we haven't seen that side of the Marines really, where it's just like an outright piece of shit. We've had people that are like, you know, for the greater good, or this is my sense of justice. Yeah, he's just straight up just like, nah, man. They're the gods, you're the peasants, get... I told you 1 month ago, it's a forest, no me. You put money on that. Yes, you did, sir. Yes, you did. Cash that in. Cash that in. Yo, and they're going in trying to cut his tendrils, but yo, low key, he's just like... He like I said, it doesn't look like it's hurting him. Even though he's a Logia and they're cutting him and they've all got Haki, it doesn't look like it hurts him because, like I said, I think he heals. I think he just, like, none of this affects him. No laws would be broken if you all died here. You can go ahead and try and stop me. I'll butcher thousands of your people, if that's what it takes to get Straw Hat Luffy. This man turned into an ant! Tree? I am no tree. I am an ant. Oh, yo. Ooh! Every word you just said. Yo, and Yamato comes in back of the head with the Conqueror's Haki clutch. Oh, trying to hit a home run on this man. Huh? Makes me sick. Man, that hurt. That's some Haki you've got there. These people went through 20 years of tyranny. Now they'll finally be able to celebrate their liberty. No way am I letting you spoil that. Who are you supposed to be? Yamato Dono! I'm Yamato, Kaido's son. And Green was just like, huh? Kaido's? Well said, Yamato. And we have no intention of permitting you to lay a finger on our recovering heroes. A dragon? Woo! Blast breath. This man says blast breath, is he? Oh, is he about to pull out the Kaido bag? No, he is not. He falls flat on his face. I should have seen that coming. Honestly, I should have. It's funny, though. It's funny. Yo, what's this? Is that blood? What's this black stuff on the back of... on the back of Green Bull? It's there too. On his back. So that's his face as he's talking. No shit! Chat! I can do math. I can do 1 plus 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Chat, you know what the fuck that black shading there is? Look at where it's positioned. My man's a Logia. Where did his black blade go? This man absorbed and turned part, like, dude, I'm telling you, that's his black blade. That's right where his black blade is. That's his face. That's his side where the holster is. And over here, you get to see more of it. He was able to assimilate his black blade into his body. And it turned that part of his, like, Logia body into the black blade. Yo, I swear to God, if he's able to manipulate this, say, I don't know if this is part of his base devil fruit or if it's his awakening or if I'm just tripping. But that looks like it's where his black blade is. His black blade's nowhere to be seen, right? maybe part of his awakening or ability is that he can turn stuff into, you know, like, you know how your clothes transform with you? You know what I mean? So it's, you know, his accessory, so it turns into part of the forest with him. Will it have the same properties of it being a black blade, though? Is essentially that going to be like a super hard route? Because think about that. Because that's what that is. There's no other point of that being there. Look, you see the black blade. At the beginning of the chapter as he's walking up, it's on his left side. Right? You cut down to him transforming. Right? You see the sword there. He starts to transform into the tree. That blackness goes up right next to it. Right? And it's on his holstered side. That's the black blade. I'm telling you. He assimilated it. Huh? Momonosuke-kun. Momonosuke-sama? Yo, and you can see here that he's still got his tattoo. You can still see the tattoo. So that dark stuff there, that's not the tattoo. That's on his back. That's his black blade. What the fuck? Huh? Momonosuke-kun? Momonosuke-sama? No matter. And Momo's doing his Looney Tunes run. I will still drive you from the capital. Be gone! And he bites him. No one will ever bring dread and terror to our people again. I vowed that I would not allow it. A pink dragon? How odd. This is the first I've heard of this ability. He shuts that shit down! I know Momo's not strong to begin with, but he shuts that shit the fuck down! He's down! Woo! You're in my way. Whoa! Momonosuke. Yo, he shuts him down so hard. This is what I was saying. He can heal like Marco because it's a forest Logia, so the trees just reform and heal him, right? And he's like Katakuri because he just spawns the hand. He just spawns the hands and grabs people. I love it. Yo, you're in my way. What, Momonosuke? Yamato, stay out of this. What? Caesar. What? That's the Red Force. That's the fucking Red Force. I'm not ready for this chapter. I am not ready for this chapter. What the hell? That's the fucking Red Force. Oh my god, his Shank's about to rock up. No. Green Bull. Dip. Green Bull, dip. Don't let Shanks roll up on me, please. The seas around Wano. It's surreal. But he's really considered one now. Let's... Oh my god, is this the chapter? No. This isn't the chapter, surely not. Oh, red hair Shanks. 25 years. We've been here for 25 years. We're finally there. Oh my god, he's gonna meet Shanks. Yo, I'm not ready for this. I'm starting to feel some kind of way. Honestly. Seas around Wano, it's surreal. But he's probably considered one now. Let's go, boss. Luffy's become a great pirate. This takes me back. Last time I was here, we were all giving Odin-san a send-off. Momo and Hiyori must be all grown up by now. How would you know, man? For all you know, they're dead with their dad. Or do you not even know that Odin's dead? Whatever. Or is it all part of the prophecy? Because of what Odin put in his journal? Because Shanks reads. Not that he read the journal, but he knows. They know. He knows. Boss, let's go see Luffy already. He really is something now. Hang on, I'm already... Yes! What the fuck? Yes! Hang on, I'm not ready to meet Usopp yet. Kid's here too, right? It hasn't been that long since that brat tried to pick a fight with us. Yo. Hang on, yo. We got Lucky Roo. We got Monster. We got Yasuo. We got Lime Juice. I still haven't perfectly remembered the Scar dude, but he's just Monster's, you know, Susanoo. Yeah, Shanks looking slick there. Man was like, I'm going to meet Luffy. Let me slick back the hair a bit, you know? Get all the ladies a fluster. Shanks is like, you already must be all grown up. Oh, yo. I want to zoom in here. Hang on. Let me look at this newspaper real close. Ooh, what? No, I'm just ignoring that, jumping all through that. What's happening on this newspaper? Can anyone, yo, chat, help me out here. Does that newspaper say anything interesting? It looks like that. Is that whole cake? Under Shanks' fingers? That, like, I know Whole Cake Chateau went down, but I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of effort for them to fix it, right? Yo, and Shanks is reminiscing. Yo, I never even noticed this. Look at that. Look at that. The Red Force there. So the Red Force back in chapter 1 and all that sort of stuff. See how it's got little horns and 2 fangs? Look at it now. It's got a heap of fangs and the horns have grown around in that. So they've gotten a new ship, or they've at least upgraded the Red Force over the years. So I like that consistency, man. The ship's growing with them. That's Klaboutermon worthy, you know? It's Red Hair's ship. Seems like they've got CP9. Don't you freaking dare do this to me. Am I going to get to see Shanks fight who's who? Even in a clash? Oda, man, you come back from a break hitting home runs. What's wrong with you? Seems like they've got CP9 agents on board. What a pain. Who cares? Let's go! Yo, and Shanks looks freaking mean there. Look at him. Back in the younger years, a little bloodlust in the eye. Ooh. CP9's on board, but if you actually notice, it's a Cypher Pole 1 ship. So CP1 must be the Cypher Pole that's active in the East Blue. That's interesting. That's why I told you who knows. Oh, I love Who's Who. You know I do. Oh wait, that's Who's Who! Oh my god, that's Young Who's Who! With the horns and the covering of the face, because Oda just doesn't like eyes for some people. What are they after? It's not like we've got any proper treasure. Only some minor devil fruit. He doesn't know. They haven't told him shit. You don't know what's about to befall you, my dude. What's the big deal? Isn't it just the one that makes you rubbery? I mean, any devil fruit's worth, you know, a fight for. Yeah, ooh, when we go back to Fuchsia Village, and we see a little Bubba Luffy and the gang chilling out at the bar. Are we gonna see? Is that an Ittori wanted poster up the back there? Maybe, maybe not. Yo, look! Oh my god, we're really about to meet Shanks. Luffy's really about to meet Shanks. Holy hell! You know, they're reminiscing about the hat. Well, like, Shanks is, you know, just like laughing with him at sunset. okay, we get the bit where Shanks loses his arm for Luffy and he's smiling, but yo, bro, I'm pretty sure you didn't have your cloak on in the first chapter. I could be wrong on that. Just a normal rubber fruit, mythical zone sun god. Yeah. Oh my god. Yo, when you're not high enough, up in the chain of command to know how important your job is. Oh, yo. And we finally get to see the arms. Wait, did we get to see Shanks with 2 arms earlier? No, we don't really get to see Shanks with 2 arms there. Oh, actually, yeah, we do. We get to see him there with the 2 arms. That's the first time we've seen a 2-armed Shanks since chapter 0. Outside. Okay, no. We had young Shanks in the flashback. I'm wrong on that. I'll just keep to myself. Yo, who's this? I guess the top officers have a pass with him. They really know the Straw Hat Luffy? Who is this monkey-ass, baboon-looking piece of shit? They say he's like a rampaging demon monkey. He's totally out of hand. Dude, you're an actual monkey! Oh, do you know what? I don't want to be who's who. Right? I don't want to be Greenbull. I don't want to assume. Maybe you're not a monkey. Maybe you're just a really, like... maybe you're just unfortunately Magellan's cousin. Oh... I'm not planning on having a reunion with Luffy here. Bullshit. What? Don't you remember what's going on in our own backyard? We had young Shanks by... but not grown-up Shanks. Yeah. I was half right. Yeah. Ooh, what's happening there? I'm not planning on having a reunion with Luffy yet. And we see some of the other crew. Don't you remember what's going on in our own backyard? Oh yeah, that Bart guy claimed he was under Luffy. He put his mark up after burning down our flag. We'd be failing our duties if we just let that slide. Well, I guess, yo, we got Ben Beckman! Yo, the boys are sitting down having a drink together. Benny pulls him a drink. Hey, Beck, isn't it about time we go and claim it? What? Evil Shanks agenda. Oh, you just got my hopes up that he's gonna meet Luffy. Oda, you dick tease. Honestly. Isn't it time we go and claim it? The One Piece. Yo, the Shanks is evil agendarists, right? You're gonna be having a field day with this chapter. What do you mean, isn't it about time we go and claim it? It's Luffy's dream, leave it alone. I need to preface this before the Shanks fans go down my throat and murder me here, because this is going to be a bit of satire, but right? Satire. This one arm has been literally waited for Big Mom and Kaido to go down, for his only rival to be someone that he pretty much, someone that looks up to him. Someone that's a literal clown that he knows he can beat. And just some generic, grumpy-ass, partying Somali pirate. Right? Shanks literally just sat back and just like, hey, Luffy, you want the One Piece? That's what you want to do in life. Yeah. And right before the end goal, he's like, you did all the hard work. I'm going to take this for me. Bullshit. Not going to meet Luffy. I think Shanks was waiting for Luffy to be strong enough to find One Piece and rival him for it. I'll tell you what, if he says isn't it about time we go and claim it, the One Piece? Maybe we're going to get the reunion at Laugh Tale. Right? Maybe they go to One Piece And we're going to have the Luffy versus the Red Hair Pirates at Laugh Tale. Just like a little bit of a Davy back fight sort of thing. That could happen. That could happen. What else? Navy Headquarters, New World. We can't let the Revolutionary Army go unchecked any longer. Akainu? I know that, but we don't have any more Marines to deploy. The one they're calling Flame Empress... I'm sorry. The one they're calling Flame Emperor, Sabo. He's become a champion for much of the world. Of all the participants in the reverie, the one that was killed was a descendant of one of the founding 20 from 800 years ago. Yo, that's actually sad. Nefertari Cobra. Yo, that's actually sad. Cobra's dead. That's actually sad. That's actually sad. I'm sure this is of great significance for the Revolutionary Army. No! Cobra was a G! He was a good guy. He had the chin. Revolutionary Army's Chief of Staff kills the King of Alabaster. Sabo assassinates King Cobra. No wonder Dragon was like, shit, but I have to stand the truth. A few hours before that, they attacked the homes of the Celestial Dragons in the Holy Land, destroying a monument of the Divine Dragon Claw and the symbol of the World Nobles. It was a blatant declaration of war. Yeah, Sabo had his Annie's Lobby moment. Yeah, I know he was ill anyway, but I mean, like, the last time we saw him was like, I'm not feeling well. I just want my daughter to get married so I can know she's happy. Cobra was a good guy, man. He got that whitebeard disease, though. Good guy-initis. Admirals Ryukyugu and Fujitora took charge of the Navy's defenses. But in the end... Oh! In the end, they succeeded in freeing their former comrade Bartholomew Kuma from the Celestial Dragon's slavery and managed to escape. Yo, there's no mention of Bonnie there, but Bonnie 100% was participating in that. 100%. Also, it looks like Morley and Karasu went up against Fuji, while Sabo and Lindbergh went up against Greenbull. Interesting. If you want to find out about Ancient Weapon, you had to sacrifice something. I don't know the context of that. Do you know what? I'll come back to that. Yo, look at that. I'm sure the admirals were restricted because they were fighting in the Holy Land, but don't make excuses for them. Akainu, dude, I get it. Absolute justice is absolute. You know, no excuses. There's no reason to fail 100% of the time. Complete the task 100% of the time, right? But a 4 to 5v2 in the Holy Land against some top tiers while you have to protect assets is not an easy task, right? Because I've said this so many times, right? This is literally a mirror of the rooftop of Onigashima, right? Instead of Luffy, you got Sabo, right? And then filling in for Law, Kid, Zoro, and Killer, you've got Karasu, Lindbergh, Morley, and Bonnie. Don't forget Bonnie. She's one of the Supernova 2, and she was there, and she wanted to free Kuma too. Alright, so 100% there was some shenanigans going on there. You know what I mean? Right? Not to mention, like, it'd be an interesting fight. I would love to see Karasu trying to fight Green Bull, because Karasu just like turns into a flock of birds, and every time he's getting attacked, it just splits into birds. Meanwhile, Green Bull out here just like as a forest, just trying to fight off the birds. That would be cool. That'd be interesting to me. Not only was King Cobra assassinated, oh my god, if VV's dead too. Oh, no. But around the same time, Princess Vivi somehow went missing. Okay, no, she's safe. Sabo's got her. We are still investigating how these cases are connected. Navy Criminal Affairs Unit Chief Kuromo Tensei, the Black Horse. Ooh. Navy Criminal Affairs Unit. Oh my god, yo, it's NCISOP. This dude's kind of like a fat McGee with a little bit of the Tony glasses and a little bit of the Gibbs salt and pepper, if anyone's an NCIS fan. We're still investigating how these cases are connected. I bet Alabasta is in chaos. The ship hasn't even left the Red Port. It's hard for anyone to come and go given the circumstances. Yo, I don't want to jump to conclusions, but he's got a name, Black Horse. Is he like low-key an admiral contemporary? Because he's got the naming scheme of an admiral. And I mean, if you've got a Navy Criminal Affairs Unit, right? I mean, at bare minimum, you gotta have someone that's at least like a Vice Admiral level strength. Because what happens if someone like Virgo becomes a thing and you gotta take him in? Yo, dude, this guy might be low-key strong. But, oh, yo, dude, he looks so weird. Up in this one here, he honestly kind of looks like dirt, right? Like, in the one with his name box, he looks like dirt. But in the panel above it, you see him from the side-on view. He doesn't look like he's got so much of a double chin. I think that's just Oda hasn't portrayed him the best there. Yo. Ooh, yo, you know it's a good day when I get to see my guy, Kizaru. Does that mean we can close the case on the attempted murder of St. Charles? St. Molesgard excused the criminals. In the Holy Land, the gods and knights have jurisdiction to mediate disputes. It's a complicated situation to say the least. Leave it to them. The gods and knights have jurisdiction. The god knights. That just must be the world government, like the Celestial Dragons military. You know what I mean? Like they're... You know the guards we saw at Samedi? Like the knights? That's probably just them. It's probably just like their personal police. It seems like most of these incidents are linked to Sabo. His flames of rebellion are spreading all over the globe. All 8 of those rebelling kingdoms were inspired to stage their revolutionary coup. All 8 of those rebelling kingdoms were inspired to stage their revolutionary coups while their kings were still returning home. It's all... Yo, that's the place we saw last chapter! It's almost as if they're worshipping him like a god. Flame Emperor Sabo! 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 With the growth of his legend, you could say his influence is greater. With the growth of his legend, you could say his influence is greater than of the rebellious dragon himself. What? What? On top of that, his little brother, Straw Hat Luffy, was dubbed an emperor. The Flame Emperor's influence... Yo! Luffy becomes an emperor. Everyone, me included, everyone and their mum. Yo, Luffy's finally over to Sabo. Oda. He's a little brother. I'ma just make Sabo an emperor without an emperor. Yo. The Flame Emperor's influence can even be felt in the pirate world. His younger brother just upended their status quo. Right now, the times are being forced to change. I reached the rank of Fleet Admiral during one hell of an error. I don't care where they try to hit us. We'll strike back and return fire on all fronts. Cover and color spread next week, back-to-back issues. Wait. Does that mean we're getting 2 chapters next week? Or does that mean it's just like we're not going on a break? Yo, look at this. Wait. No! Look at... Yo, where they're doing the revolution. Look at the flags. You got the Sabo S that's crossed out, which is Sabo's flag. There's the Shimotsuki emblem. There's a Revolutionary Army emblem. There's a world government symbol with an arrow through it. There's a star. And then there's the Neo Marines, which I always argued was potentially Sword's emblem without the sword. Yo, true justice is a joke? No. No, what? I don't know who this dude is, but he's loving giving this speech here. Everyone's raised up arms. I wonder what kingdom that was, because I was saying that could have been Vodka Kingdom. Yo, but look, whatever building they're in front of there, it's got bars over the windows and everything. So are these prisoners? Because that's a noose and the gallows. Yo, so much happened this chapter. What? Yo, I gotta go back to the beginning. Yo, chat, what's everyone's thoughts on the chapter? I almost forgot that started with freaking Green Bull. Yo, I gotta break this down a bit. Oh my god. Flexing Forest muscle. But look at his left arm. You can see his left arm becomes this tendril that becomes this tree next to the fists that come out. So those fists coming out of the ground aren't necessarily his actual arms. So he can just do the Katakuri and spawn wood fists out of nowhere. Man's out here just like a full-blown Hashirama. Sounds like bulging muscles, but uses a kanji for Forbidden Hatred Forest. Yo, it's so iconic that he's so chill with, like, you know, bad nature and all that sort of stuff. Like, he's got, like, a negative personality, you know, like a deadly personality, but his whole ability brings to life. I love that. Yo, look at him here, though. None of these attacks are hurting him. At all. Green Bull, Shanks, VV, Cobra, Reverie, Sabo, Navy, yo, far out! Such a good chapter! Shit! 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Yo, Oda... I'm might need to reread the entire series of One Piece and break up the chapters in like 1 to 10, right? And like somewhere there's definitively got to be what would be Oda's worst chapter, and make that a 1, and find the best chapter in One Piece, make that a 10, and then like we got to define the whole new scale just for One Piece. The One Piece scale. Yo, but Yamato hits this man in the back of the head with advanced conquerors. Advanced conquerors. And this man didn't even bleed. He just goes, that hurt. Yo, come to think about it. Yo, the things I'm about to start saying may get me in some trouble here. I ain't gonna lie. Hang on. I've got to, for my own sanity here, I've got to bring up the viz. I'm cooking something, lads. I'm cooking something. Yo, what's everyone's thoughts on this chapter though? Is there anything I missed? What's the general vibe about the chapter? Alright. What chapters would it be? Let's say 983. You know, your boy's got skills and he nails it like that. So lads and lasses, hear me out here. Yamato just comes in and hits Green Bull in the back of the head with Advanced Conqueror's Haki, right? Chapter 983. Yamato uses Advanced Conqueror's Haki, knocks out ulti for a minute. Right? That's the first thing. Right? I'm doing this the right way. I'm giving you the chapter numbers and everything. Right? So if you want to come at me on it, you can. Right? 983. We see Yamato's Haki strong enough to, knock around Yamato. Let's say 1001. 1001. Chapter 1001. First page. Eustace Kid, after watching Luffy punch Kaido. What was that Haki just now? Kaido can't normally be hurt by physical... Kaido can't be hurt by physical blows. Right? You can hurt Kaido with physical blows? He's questioning, because that's the Rio. Because you can't actually hurt Kaido with physical blows normally. Right? Yo, Kuma, good to see you, lad. Good to see you. After a long month off. Alright, so... 983... 1001... And by the way, this is all part of the agenda. This is all part of my dirty agenda. Ooh, 1040? Maybe? No. 1040's gone way too far. Let's try 136. I think again that is too early. Too late, sorry. Try 24. Yeah, I was so on point with the first two, right? Oh. Yes, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. So 1024, and it'd be the opening of 1025, right? Just for clarity, it's just here. So every time Yamato sort of lands reasonable hits with Advanced Conquerors, I'm just saying, right? I'm just saying. The physical aspect, we were told the physical aspect of strikes doesn't hurt Kaido. It's the Haki that hurts Kaido, right? Yamato, with her Advanced Conqueror's Haki, was able to make Kaido bleed. Just a drop, right from here. I don't see any blood on Green Bull, do you? I don't see any blood on Green Bull, do you? And to make matters worse, right? When Momo shows up here, Momo comes charging in, and what does Momo do to Green Bull? Right, lads? What does Momo do to Green Bull? He bites him. What? I'm guessing it's 1020... Must be. Must be 1026. Look at that. Because we're getting some pretty, like, consistent mirroring here from people that we just saw fighting. Right? Here we go. We see on 1026, Momo bite Kaido just like he's biting Green Bull here. Kaido screams out in pain. Ah! Right? Green Bull here is just like, ugh. For added effect, remember last week I said, yo, it's really interesting because we don't know whether or not King and Queen died or not, but it seems like they did. But it was stated at the beginning of the Zoro versus King fight that King is more durable than Kaido. We have just seen a mirroring of attacks that were done against Kaido, and Green Bull is taking them better than Kaido did. Green Bull may, and this is a red hot thing, I'm not saying he's, more tanky or whatever, he's taken the hits better. Look up the panels, I gave you the chapter numbers. Are you saying he's more durable than Kaido? Maybe. Because we've just seen the exact same attacks repeated over and over and over and over. And all Green Bull's doing is just like, Not a drop of blood. Kaido was bleeding, screaming. And I know Kaido screamed a lot when he was attacked in dragon form, but Green Bull gets bit here and he just goes, and then one-shots Momo. Green Bull just looked at Momo biting his arm and went, huh? What a cute dragon, yeah. But what did I just say? 1026, pages 6 and 7. Momo bites Kaido. Ah! Then you've got the feats that King has better durability. Or defense. Better defensibility. I'll rephrase it like that. King has better defensibility than Kaido. And Green Bull stabs him through the heart. If Shanks wants One Piece, he needs to have the ability to read poneglyphs. And Ben Beckman is stated the most intelligent person. My own theory, but Sage, that's a good theory, right? That's a good theory. But hear me out here. Hear me out a little bit. Like I said before. What if this man's whole goal in life, right here, at this moment, is to go to One Piece, because he already knows where it is, because he was already part of the crew that mapped it out in the first place. And while they were on their way, he dipped. Arguably, he already knew and has known for this, like, for the last 20 odd years. I think it's like 20, 23, 22 to 24 years. He's known the entire time, right, where the One Piece is, how to get there. He doesn't need the poneglyphs necessarily, because he already had that information from back then. He just didn't follow through with it because it wasn't part of his journey. Now that he sees Luffy has 3 road poneglyphs and is 1 step away, he's like, let's meet him at the finish line. Let's meet him at the finish line. He can give me my hat back, you know? Which can lead to so many issues. Because, lads, chat, speak up for a second. Let me know you're here on this, because this one, I just thought of it on the fly. This is going to be a really terrifying thought. The crew, Mr. Zira's crew, happens to have a man on board that can turn invisible. But not just turn invisible. We saw Absalom with this ability turn entire ships invisible. Could the Blackbeard pirates make it to Laugh Tale? Because they've been following the red hair pirates while invisible, waiting for the perfect time to strike. I have some more theory. Buggy Fruit can do the same thing as the OP fruit that was on Roger's ship. And that was on Roger's ship. I mean, I don't disagree. Buggy's awakening, he should be doing some lore shit. And it would be fun. And I've seen all the people putting their theories around that maybe you could do, like you could split an atom and do some nuclear shit. That'd be cool. I don't think it would play out that way, but that'd be cool. I'm kind of surprised that Green Bull went into an alternative mode, right? Right out of the gate. Kind of wanted to see more human techniques from him, but he went into tree mode. Kuma, you weren't here for this, so let me give you a rundown on this, right? Let's go up. Let's go up. This is the second time we'll be doing this. This is a refresher. So we see Green Bull walking in, plants spawning. We see his black blade still on his hip, right? We see his left arm, as he starts to turn into a tree, you see his left arm grow into a tree, and separate to that tree, you see fists form. So, that fist that's forming isn't actually his arm. That's just another part of the ability. So he's able to spawn, he's able to control what's grown and the shape of what grows out, right? Think about that. That's a very minute detail, but a very interesting one for this ability, right? Then, he states he's a Logia, because that's very important. After that, right down at the bottom of that, you see this black shading on his left backside as he's talking, right? If you go down another page or 2 pages, you see the black shading again. As I said earlier, that is where his black blade is holstered in his human form. He was able to turn his black blade into part of his wood body. Whether it's awakening or something else, that doesn't matter. It could just be part of his base ability. But that darkness there, that black shading, that's where his black blade's kept. Now, maybe he's just storing it inside himself while he's bumming around like this. Or maybe he has a black blade. He assimilates it with his power into essentially a black tendril, a black branch of the tree, a dead branch sort of thing. And we might see this Ent-looking MF do some crazy sword techniques with like a sword branch or a branch sword here. But when he goes into his human form, it's still a sword. So when he clashes against other people, he can use it just like a sword, right? It's also really interesting. He's a Logia, right? But his body's not intangible. We see here he's got a tangible body. He gets hit. People cut off parts of his body, though, and it doesn't hurt him. There's no blood. Even though he's a Logia, right? The interesting thing here is, and I was saying this before, it really seems like the forest fruit works as, instead of being intangible like Kizaru or liquidized like Akainu, he's a solid like Aokiji. But where Aokiji shatters and then reforms from the shards, Green Bull has what a tree does. When you cut a tree, it heals back together, it refuses back together. He's essentially got a Marco-esque healing factor where the wood just reforms and reheals and seals. Right? Think about that. Now the fact, and Sage just actually dropped this in the comments there, the fact that he's a forest human, right? His power is nature incarnate, means arguably he can spawn any type of fauna we have seen, arguably, any type of fauna we have seen in the One Piece world, if he knows about it or works on it, right? So think about this, right? Separate the Haki for a second, just talking about the Devil Fruit. What's to stop this man turning part of one of his bodies, like part of one of the sections he spawns, into, say, like a Venus Flytrap sort of sticky pad? All of a sudden he's sort of like Katakuri there, isn't he? Where he can shut down your movement by making you sticky. Or he does what we see him do to Momo, where he just binds you up, and you can't muscle out of it, right? We see him get cut, but it doesn't hurt him. We see him get hit with Haki, and it doesn't really hurt him, right? Now maybe he's just an absolute tank, which, like I was saying before, he really could be. But it also could be a part of a massive healing factor, like how a tree, heals and does that nature thing. He may be capable of using any pop green we have seen. He may be capable of spawning in IQ plant.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Yeah, that was not what was meant to happen then, but anyway. He may be able to spawn in the IQ plant. All of a sudden, he's got his own version of a Rumble Ball. The IQ plant. Maybe he can manipulate his own genetic structure on top of being the forest and the woods. Right? Ooh, that's deadly. That's dangerous. But what else? Well, there's a special kind of tree we saw in Ruscaina and Strong World. A very poisonous type of tree, or a family of very poisonous type of trees. Right? Maybe he can be like a Pseudo-Magellan, where he spawns in poisonous fauna that he's immune to because he's a tree. All of a sudden, he can poison you and shut you down that way. Like I was saying before, the tendrils that he grows here aren't connected to his arms. You can see the tendril, his left arm, best example. You see it grow up into a tree, right? But it's not the fist. So he can spawn body parts like Katakuri does with his awakening. Arguably, he can make them whatever type of tree we've seen in the story, and there are some strong trees. Like Sage said, what if he can turn his body into Atomwood, and that's why he's so strong and durable? Maybe that's why he's able to do some colossal damage to people like King, who are more durable than Kaido. Already, in 2 chapters, this man is a beast. Not to mention, we saw him fly. So we know he's capable of flight even. Right? The dude's an ant. It's crazy. Just like think about this ability, and it's like how versatile has this been in other series, right? Assume he can do what those other series can do, right? Add the healing factor. Add the ability that he's just heaps durable. Add Haki on top of it, right? We're getting into some dangerous territory here. Green Bull, a man who can make millions of berries by selling Atomwood, 100%. What if Green Bull can sprout Haki-infused limbs of Jewel Tree? Yeah. Well, actually, let's run this back. He did that last chapter. Right? I don't care what people are saying. It wasn't shading. There was haki when he was attacking, right? And I'll pull this up. I will pull this shit up. 1053. Let's get to it. Ooh. Where is it? When he's introduced with his name tag. Now, on the page before, for all transparency, right? On the page before, we see his tendrils that have spawned everywhere, stabbed through people, and they have blood on them, right? But then we cut back to his hand, and the fingertips on his hand look all black clad in haki. And what did he use his hand to do? To stab into King and to stab into Queen. The two strong people that he fought last chapter. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, what's to stop him turning his body into, Adam Tree, Jewel Tree, harking it up? He's one of the strongest things already, then adds haki to it. It's like Diamond Jozu using haki. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, hot damn, son. If only Green Bull political and morals weren't as skewed. No, low key, I know this is going to sound bad, right? I love that he's a piece of shit. Because it means he's not going to hold back as much as other people. Right? It means he's going to be like, nah, screw it. I need that attaboy. I need that attaboy. You know what I'm saying? All admirals are Logia except for one. I wonder why. Remember, that one admiral that's not a Logia, right? Sort of goes against the grain a bit. Although, I will mind you, and this is actually going to be a funny pun here, right? There was an SBS that made it seem like Green Bull might be a, like someone that rebels against the world government, right? In line with Fujitora. Someone asked that question, and it's like, maybe. Now, what we get here, it doesn't seem like that's the case at all. It seems like he's ride or die for the Celestial Dragon sort of thing. He's on that Rob Lucci sort of hype train, right? But this would actually be hilarious, and just bear with me for my pun here. What if Green Bull... This is a bad theory, right? What if Green Bull is a revolutionary, right? And he's playing a bigoted role to make the world government look bad because... And wait for it. He's a plant from Dragon. Was that a bad joke? Bad theory? Bad good theory? In a roundabout way? Maybe because maybe because Fujitora is the black sheep of the admirals. Maybe. Like, in a sense, where he's morally like Kuzone, but decided to stay in the Navy despite his dislike of how Akainu runs things. I mean, low-key, Fujitora gives a refreshing view in the Navy, and it gives a little bit of hope that you can still rise to power and not be questionable these days. You know what I mean? Oh god, the tinfoil hat puns have emerged. Okay, yes, it is a tinfoil hat pun, but... Is Oda not known for making, like, just a shit ton of unfair puns? You know what I mean? And the fact that Green Bull's a tree, and if he was a plant for the revolutionaries playing up their negative roles to make them look bad, that would actually be Oda. Like, Oda does that shit, man. I'm saying it. Although, mind you, I just want him to just not be a pun. Like, I would actually like... I like that he's a bad guy. Because it, like, gives us someone to hate in the Marines in a way. And you got to think, like, who's going to take this man out eventually from the good guy's side? You know what I'm saying? But look at him, man. Like I said before, tree? I am no tree. I am an ant. But, what I will say is... Momo saying Yamato stay out of this. if Momo gets out of this, what happens if in a strategic maneuver, right? Big brain strap Momo here. What if Momo requests, don't invade this country. The pirates aren't here anymore. Can we join the world government? On his side, thinking it's the only safe way, right, to have a peaceful resolution here. Do you think that's a possibility? I'm just... What is Momo thinking he's going to do here to solve this? Because he's actually the leader of Wano, right? So he actually here has the authority to make that deal, right? It can happen without the Straw Hats ever having run into Green Bull. That way, shit doesn't go down, and it gives a peaceful resolution to this situation. It would be interesting, especially since Wano is the home ground for Seastone. So, you know what I mean? It would definitely it'd definitely be one of those things where it would work short term, even though we know it's not going to be utilized in that way. You know what I mean? Chat, why do you think Shanks is going for the One Piece? I want thoughts on that. Not a chance. He will not trust the person who say, I am after Straw Hat Head. No, I know he doesn't trust them, but it might be a strategic play because he's read Odin's journal and he knows there'll be a war against the world government in a way. So he's just like, I just need to lie this one time in this one specific way for a peaceful revolution because in like 2 weeks' time we're going to stab him in the back anyway, so what does it matter? It all depends on how convicted Green Bull is for the Straw Hats. But to me, he seems pretty hard-headed and isn't going to compromise for a country he does not recognize. Yeah, but the only reason he doesn't recognize it is because it's not a part of their affiliation. And the only reason it's not part of their affiliation is because they've never had a representative because it's been, been taken over by Kaido. But the world government has always needed Wano. The world government has always traded weapons with Wano to feed into rebellions around the world to keep the world in a state of disarray so they could maintain control. And secondly, they've always gotten Seastone there because it's the only country in the world where Seastone naturally forms. In other words, if Green Bull accepts this deal, he goes back to Akainu and the Celestial Dragons with all the Seastone in the world, a bunch of really well-made weapons, including ranged weapons, an entire island of high-tier fighters on paper, right? He'd get the attaboy. More than bringing back Luffy's head. Like, Wano Country is more valuable than Luffy. Overall. Shanks, I mean, it's an enigma with him. He went to the Reverie, which is already insane, and now he's going to Wano for One Piece. So he's both political pull and hidden Yo! Why is Shanks at Wano if he's not meeting Luffy? What was said out last chapter? Pluton's in Wano. Is this man planning on just slipping in quickly and towing Pluton out? Like, what if Pluton's just, like, under the water, like, not under the waterfall where the Beast Pirates go up and down, like their port? What if it's under the waterfall that the Straw Hats rode up at the beginning of the arc? And it can just be towed away because it's at sea level the entire time. So the whole reason Shanks is here is like, oh, it's almost time. I better go get One Piece and go grab the ancient weapons and that so we're ready for this, shit to go down. He knows a lot. He's after Bardo. I get... So why is he in Wano waters in the first place? Like, I know he says he's after... although, mind you, right? Should we be worried about Barto? I know he's got his, like, invulnerable barrier here, but... What if Pluton is in the hole Kaido and Big Mom were blasted into? I've heard theories about it. Like, Maybe being a subterranean ship or something like that, and that's how it can destroy an island by like tunneling under it. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities there. Also, I loved seeing the young red hair pirates here. They were good. They were chill. And I mean, canonically, we have it. There's 2 CP9 members on a CP1 ship here. So we know that the red hair pirates fought 2 CP9 members, 12 years ago. So, feats. We finally get some early feats. Yo, look at these random, like, deckhands on the red hair pirates crew, though. They've got no idea about Luffy or anything like that. So they mustn't talk about it too much, which is interesting. Everyone talks about One Piece, the #1 treasure. But what about #2? You mean Captain Jones' treasure? Captain Jones' glorious treasure? With the band? Is that what you're talking about, Sage? Getting a little support for some Captain John going? I know Eggs for Brekkie is a bit busy today, so I've got no idea if he's going to be able to hop on for a discussion today or whether or not that's going to have to happen, like, over the weekend. But I'll stay on for a bit, chatting about the chapter and that, and see if he pulls up. Interesting that Shanks' crew mentioned Kid. I wonder how Magnet Boy is going to react, considering he lost an arm. Excellent point. Well, I mean, they're about to dip, right? Interesting. I still want to know what's on this newspaper here. Because we saw on the newspaper that it was Sabo kills Cobra. But then we see on this other side, there's another headline, right? And there's what kind of looks like Whole Cake Island that had been reformed, where Shanks' fingers are. So I don't... Oh, if it's talking about the Yonko having been defeated, maybe it's just like, the Empress of Whole Cake has been defeated. Okay, that makes sense. I was reading into that too much then, I think. Yeah, the Shanks pirates are cool. Wait, Shanks said he don't want to meet Luffy, but he didn't say he didn't want to go into Wano. That's a good point. Like I said, he might get the Pluton and dip. He may get the Pluton and dip. Yo, wait, hold up. No! This is what I get for reading One Piece for years and years and years and years and years, over and over and over and over and over and over and over. I've got too good of a memory. It's a problem. Revolutionary Army's Chief of Staff, the King of Alabasta, Sabo assassinates King Cobra. This is the old newspaper, not the one that Shanks has. The one that Shanks has at the moment is about Luffy taking down the Yonko, the one we saw the other chapter, right? This is the newspaper that ran when we got the news about the warlords and that. So there were 2 double-page spreads on either side of the newspaper. One was the warlords had been defeated, or was it not defeated, had been abolished. The other was Sabo assassinates King Cobra. Which one of those 2 stories was CP trying to cover up with Morgan's, that Morgan's printed anyway? Was it it wouldn't have been the warlords. That should be public knowledge. So why did CP0 want to cover up Sabo assassinates King Cobra? Is it a long play because it actually was a lie in the first place? So they wanted to make it seem like it was real? Or is the ironic thing here. Sabo actually killed King Cobra in Crossfire. Maybe they didn't want to talk about the Sabo versus Cobra, like Sabo killing Cobra, because maybe it happened during the clash against the Admirals. Maybe he tried to intervene to stop it. Who knows? Because I got to pull that up. It's not 9:57. Might be 9:56. It's not ultimate. It's either before or after. 9:56. Big news. Yep, this is it. Okay. There's been a fatality. Big obits sold paper, so that's Cobra. But the vote results are fantabulous too. So that's the Warlords. And an attempted murder. Thrilling stuff. So that's VV. So it's Cobra, Warlords, VV. Right? Double A1s. I'm breaking the mold. 2 covers, front and back. Yes, sir. I've got a telegram from the government boss. Yowza. Get a gander at the digits on this check. They want me to cover up a story, but which one? Bounce it back to them. They want me to sit on a story this big? Never. Then CP0 does a face swap, right? What is it that they wanted to cover up? There's also the fact that the revolutionaries got away from 2 admirals. So that's a major slight on the Navy's reputation as a whole that the world government and Akainu didn't want to release. That is good thinking there. That is definitely good thinking there. Yo! I'm dumb! What? Okay, last page. What did they say? It's almost as if they worship him like a god. With the growth of his legend, you could say his influence is greater than that of the rebellious dragon himself. Flame Emperor, Sabo, Sabo, Sabo. Everyone and their mum was a little underwhelmed when the Revolutionary Army's bounties were released. They're like, ugh, really? The world government should want them gone more than anyone. Why are they so cheap? Why are they so poor? What's going on? What's the problem? Last chapter, we got the new emperors. We got Luffy, we got Kid and Law. Massive bounty jump, so that all the pirates have taken a massive step forward. This chapter, the revolutionaries have taken a massive step forward. There's going to be some crazy bounty increases, I reckon, for the revolutionaries here. Specifically the ones that were present at Marijoa that escaped. Right? So Bello Betty sitting... She was 450 or 500. I think she was 500, right? Bello Betty won't move, but all the others are going to get a big jump, including Sabo, who may get an Emperor-sized bounty because think of it like this. Sabo fought 2 admirals, and I know all of them fought 2 admirals, but Sabo fought with 2 admirals. Sabo invaded Marijoa. Sabo escaped Marijoa. Sabo shot down the Celestial Dragon flag with fire. And last but not least, Sabo killed a Celestial Dragon in Cobra. Because technically, they're part of those founding kingdoms. So technically, the world sort of sees them as a Celestial Dragon anyway. They sent an admiral for hurting or crossing a Celestial Dragon. Killing one, even if the world government doesn't like Cobra, they've got to keep that reputation up. Sabo is going to have probably the biggest, I'm just saying, they're calling him the Flame Emperor. He may have a higher bounty than Luffy right now. He may have a higher bounty than Luffy right now. And they saved Kuma. You're right. Sabo 2 billion. Also, the revolutionaries managed to get away without a single one getting captured and freed Kuma. This is a major feat. Yeah, this may be the big bounty jump that actually makes the revolutionaries look threatening. So if that's the case, with the way this chapter ends, pirates all get a buff in bounty. Revolutionaries all get a buff in bounty. And we get introduced to a new core of the world government, the Navy Criminal Affairs Unit in Chief, who has a naming scheme that the admirals do. The only other two people that have got that same sort of naming scheme, right, are Brown Pig, Chaton, and Momoshagi Pink Rabbit. The two admiral candidates. So we may have two vice admirals that are potentially almost as strong as an admiral. And now this guy, Tensei, Black Horse. Right? Cogs are returning. Next chapter, they say they're going to strike back on all fronts. Next chapter, the world government / the Marines. We're going to see a crazy buff from them. Maybe we see the results, finally, of the Warlords. Maybe we see how SSG, part of the Marines, defeated the likes of Mihawk? What? Nani? Don't forget that the one decent Celestial Dragon almost got killed too. You're not wrong there. And we do need a perspective of a redeemable Celestial Dragon. So that's Mulesguard. That Celestial Dragon was also courteous with Vivi. So maybe he smuggled Sabo and the others to safety. I would say if anyone got anyone to safety, it would just be Morley bringing them underground. And then maybe even Bonnie changing their ages so that people don't recognize them as they leave. Because that's pretty effective. My comment before, you reckon 2 billion? I reckon he's going above 3 billion here. The name of the chapter was Entei, Flame Emperor. How do they talk about Sabo here? Right? Listen. With the growth of his legend, you could say his influence is greater than that of the rebellious dragon himself. So his influence is now getting greater than Dragon. Dragon has the highest bounty in the series because he's the world's most wanted man. So that's arguably over Roger's 5.5 bill. Right? On top of that, this is Kizaru's. This is a good source here. On top of that, on top of having a reputation worse than Dragon now, and being called the Flame Emperor, his little brother is dubbed an Emperor too. So they're still referring to Luffy as like the littler one, compared to the two of them. Sabo's got to have a higher bounty than 3 bill. I'm calling it. I'm calling it now. He'll be sort of stepping into the, like, he'll be stepping into some shoes, and the hype may not be deserved necessarily. But he'll be stepping into some big shoes, because he's probably going to get a massive bounty raise. Probably bigger than Kid's. His current bounty was 600 mil. What did Kid get? 2.5 bill? 2.5 bill for Sabo puts him at 3-1. Little over Luffy's. Maybe he goes even higher. Who knows? But you got to think, right? Think back. Think of the crazy reputation that he's got. He's a Logia. He's the number 2 of the revolutionaries, the group that goes directly against the world government. Broke into Merijoa, escaped Merijoa, fought 2 admirals, killed a celestial dragon, right? Brother of Luffy and Ace, right? So the world's looking at him right now, just like, man, he's got ties with the revolutionaries, ties with the pirate, ties. People all around the world love him. He's a Logia. He's got advanced armament haki. And he's damn good at it too. And he's got pretty good observation. 5 Elders said, what light would you like to get rid of this time? And Imu had a poster of Vivi. Could it be that they were trying to execute Vivi or Cobra? 100% they 100% executed Cobra. And blamed it on Sabo. I reckon what's happened though is Sabo's saved Vivi. Vivi, having read the news, knows that Sabo is Luffy's brother. Vivi divulges the information that it was Luffy that helped out against Crocodile, and they're chill. You know, they're all kawaii. And the crazy thing's gonna be, how does the revolutionaries really start their war? They said they declared war, but what's the first move? Junk. Big News Morgans. I got a scoop for you. I've got an inside source. Who is this? Revolutionary Chief of Staff, Sabo. The dove's flying off. Right? I have with me a witness that'll clear me for King Cobra's death. Right? Who is this source? What happened? Nefeltari Vivi announces that she's part of the Straw Hat Pirates. Sabo saved her after Cypherpole murdered Cobra because he dared to ask about the poneglyphs. Now, Sabo still gets a reputation because he was there, he still did what he did, right? But now the world's like, yo, we hate the world government, but this just proves they're scumbags, they're backstabbers, they can't be trusted. Out of the 170 kingdoms, how many do you think will start losing faith? The infighting will be starting like crazy. Revolutionary Army already knew about Luffy beating Crocodile because we had seen that scene in episode after Water 7. Yes, but we don't know that Sabo knew about that. You know what I mean? We know that Dragon got that info, but we didn't know that Sabo did. You know what I mean? But it's just a friendly little piece together. You know what I'm saying? You know? It's just vibing. It's vibing in the best possible way. Yeah, this is a crazy chapter. Next week, my prediction is we cut to the results of what happened with the Warlords. Oh my god, yo. The next batch of chapters are gonna actually kill me. Oda is set up back-to-back 10s. Think about it. What do we have to do? Find out what happened with the world government. Right? What light were they wanting to extinguish? We've got to find out what happened with the Warlords. We've got to get an introduction to SSG. We've got to get an introduction to Vegapunk soon. Right? Jesus. We've got to actually see what happened with Sabo. Where are they now? Why haven't they gotten back to the Revs yet? Dragon and all that. They read the news, but they haven't been in contact yet. What's going on? I mean, for all we know, I'm not going to speculate that, but for all we know, they may have actually been captured, and they're just trying to weed out rebellious countries to blast away. Who knows? Who knows, right? But there's those 5 things. We have the new NCIS, One Piece, with Navy Criminal Affairs Unit Chief, Black Horse. So we've got to get introduced to his full organization. Interesting. We haven't even gotten the bounties for the Straw Hats. Right? We've got the stuff with Shanks going after One Piece and Bartolomeo. Right? And that's just the stuff we know of. That's like just already set up. Without like paying off more stuff going forward. And Green Bull. We still didn't pay off Green Bull completely. Green Bull just rocked up and kicked ass. Vegapunk being Luffy's mother. No. Please, no. Nah. Vegapunk's gonna have a big old fat head, surely. Surely. Yo, this is wild though. Alright. I might have to call the stream there. I'll do a discussion over the weekend. Keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for that. I'll hit up Eggs for Recce. We'll go through this chapter more. Talk a bit more. Might even get glitter in. We'll see. Might even do something over the weekend where we bum around on Discord. So if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord, and we might even have like an open invitation on some chats or something, even if it's not online, like not on stream. Kuma, shoot your questions, man. Shoot your questions. Yo, this was actually an absolute banger of a chapter. I'm sorry, Queen, but Lucky Roo wore it better. I can't stop looking at this Tensei guy. If you could make 4 non-canon characters canon, who would they be? Zephyr would be number 1 because Zephyr in Film Z is the best, and I'm going to repeat, the best One Piece movie, right? Followed by Shiki because Strong World is the second best movie, right? By far. Low key, I'd throw Bullet in there because I do rock with Bullet. Like, I know he's just a mindless brute, but the fact that we didn't get to see him in the flashback or anything like the fact that he hasn't been in the canon manga, even though Oda drew him as a manga character, like even just throwing him in the background would have been interesting, even if you just pay homage that the movie was non-canon. So that's 3. Does it have to be someone from a movie, or could I make up a character? Kuma, is that going outside the realm of the question here? Like, is it like, could I, like, if I could have a character introduced or something introduced? How would Buggy react to Blackbeard? Will he be on fear like he was in front of Whitebeard, or treat him like Luffy and Shanks? I think he'll treat him like Luffy and Shanks, but he'll also, like, at the back of his mind be like, this guy's scary, but I've fought him before. So he'll be overconfident with his own abilities, low-key. And I mean, shit, Shanks is here. No ifs, ands, or buts, right? But, like, what if Blackbeard actually is invisible and rolled up in Wano as well? So, shit, man, sheesh. Because we still don't know. Yeah, that's another thing that's set up. We don't know where Blackbeard's going or what Blackbeard's going after. If the Navy's going to take it, we might as well claim the prize. Well, we know now that the newspaper was over Sabo and Vivi and Cobra, or the Warlords. So whatever he's going after must be in relation to the Warlords. So Blackbeard and Weevil incoming? I mean, Blackbeard does have Mori's fruit on his side now, whether Mori is alive or not. So, shit. I'd actually love Doc Q to have Mori as fruit. The Shadow Grim Reaper, that'd be sick. Guild Disorder would be cool one. He could run a major bank, kind of like Iron Bank in Game of Thrones. Low key, my wife's favorite One Piece movie is Film Gold. Oh, it's either Stampede or Film Gold. I'm pretty sure it's Film Gold. She loves Tesoro. She's just like, oh, interesting character, love him. I just don't like him. Not that much. That movie was fun, but I just was like, ugh. It's cool. Heaps of cool stuff, right? And he's awakened. It's like, what? And I don't remember where, but I think they sent some promotional material before the movie came out that he beat Doflamingo in a fight. I was like, what the fuck? What? But, yeah. But if I could just make up a character, right, that could be canon, what would I want? Well, okay. I would actually bolster the Marines and more government because, like, like I've said for the longest time, admirals equal Yonko to me. I feel like I can damn well prove that. And this chapter's been nothing but helping and support here, right? But there's so many other factions that the world government needs to have bolstered their forces a bit. So I reckon I would love a we've gotten a naval criminal investigation unit. We've got the 3 admirals and the fleet admiral. Technically, we've still got Kong, but we don't know if he's like a participant in life or anything like that. What role exists that could be filled in the world government that we haven't seen? This may sound dark or random or weird, but having this twist of fate would actually be crazy to me. Chief of the Marines Air Force. But the Air Force doesn't work how we normally think it does. Think about this, right? So, the One Piece Air Force, they've managed to grow the archipelago mangroves in smaller areas, which create a climate around them where the Sabity bubbles work, essentially making hot air balloons with bubbles, right? So it's like, like imagine like a bamboo shoot area, that in that area bubbles can form and they won't pop, and essentially you've just got an air force where it's like hot air balloon bubbles, right? Led by a vice admiral. That's what I would want. I reckon that would be crazy. And like, it'd be really easy to deal with, but it would also cause like a bunch of trouble. Like, could you imagine a bunch of snipers up in a hot air balloon? How difficult that would be. Like, that was one of the crazy things about Shiki. The fact that Shiki and Kaido and I guess Fujitora, like, you can get attacked from above, man. That's messed up. Messed up. Mihawk Goal? Why is he in the story? Because we know he didn't want to be Pirate King. Are you asking what Mihawk's goal is? Or are you saying Mihawk is a goal member, like Goldie Mihawk? Good point. Where's Mihawk fitting into the story at this point in time? I was gonna say something needs to happen before Luffy Does Zoro become pirate? Does Zoro become the world's greatest swordsman before or after Luffy becomes Pirate King? Like, who's the first person to achieve their dream in the Straw Hats? Is it gonna start with Luffy, and then everyone's dreams are gonna trickle in behind? What's the point of putting Mihawk in whole One Piece? I mean, he's Zoro's goal. He's Zoro's Yonko to take down. You know what I mean? You think after? Do you see in the final war the Straw Hat Grand Fleet going against the world government that's also going against the revolutionaries and the Blackbeard pirates, while we're also getting third-partied by Mihawk, though? That'd be crazy. It'd be interesting, but it'd be crazy. Do you think Kuruma, or Black Horse, aka Tensei, do you think he's strong, chat? Do you think he's strong? And more yet, do you think he has a devil fruit? Because like I said before, being the criminal investigation unit of the Marines, he needs to be at least strong enough to bring in some top tier Marines if they step out of line. Best example is Virgo. You know what I mean? So his job would have been to like wrap up Virgo. For sure. So you definitely think he's strong. Would you say Vice Admiral, Admiral? And does he have Devil Fruit? And if so, what do you think his Devil Fruit would be? I want to believe that he's a former Admiral. I wouldn't say former. I would say he's Admiral adjacent. You know what I mean? So he'd be on the same tier as maybe the Admiral candidates, but he actually holds the role that's like equal to an Admiral, being the Navy Criminal Affairs Unit in Chief. So he's under the Fleet Admiral, but he's like, you know, you got like the 3 Admirals, and then you got the military police. You know what I mean? He does have the common Admiral epithet, yeah. A colour followed by an animal, yeah, 100%. Like I said, you got Brown Pig though in Chaton, and you've got Pink Bunny in Momoshiki though as well. So these 3 are the non-admirals with admiral names. So the question is, are they going to be admiral level or not, or close even? Over Smoker and below Sabo. That's fair. Over Smoker and Virgo and below Sabo. That's fair. Yeah, he's a guy who snitches on the evil Marines. Yeah, so the question is, if he's the strongest of his unit, because he's the chief of it, right? What's the strongest level of a Marine that he's going to be able to bring in? Because technically, his job at the moment might be to bring in Aokiji. Just saying. If Aokiji's turned criminal and allied with Blackbeard, maybe that's his job to bring in Aokiji. Which kind of makes you wonder if he's any good at his job. Yeah, no, that's like, he's just been introduced. I'm not giving him slander. I'm just questioning, like, okay, if this is your job, are you capable of doing it? You know what I mean? Or is it just going to be like, morally, like, you shouldn't do that? Because he's sitting here on pretty chill, equal terms with Akainu and Kizaru. And by the way, I've said it a million times, and I'm going to keep saying it until I die, right? Kizaru is Akainu's right-hand man. He is the number 2 of the Navy, which would be Luffy's rival in the Pirates and in the Marines. Who would be Luffy's rival in Pirate and in the Marines? Blackbeard and Akainu? No offense to Smoker and Kobe. They've got their own dreams and goals, but they're not, like, they've clashed with Luffy, but, like, low-key, if we're talking about rivals, right, okay, who are actually Luffy's rivals? As a pirate, the only 2 rivals Luffy has now, right, is Buggy and Blackbeard. 2 people that really started off around when he did and have jumped to a level equal to him now in the story, right? Buggy's a gag, Blackbeard's a serious antagonist. Everyone else is stagnant. They're not really a Luffy rival. They're someone to be targeted by Luffy. You know what I mean? Okay, so who's the flip side? In the Revolutionaries, this chapter, we sort of see it's Sabo. So Sabo's kind of a rival, but because he's an older brother figure, it's just like he's older than Luffy, so he's staying just a touch above Luffy in a weird way. But, it's fair. In the Marines, it's Akainu. Because even though Kobe got really strong pre-time skip and learnt shave and all that, and even though Smokers clash with Luffy time and time and time again, and it's interesting, Akainu's the one that rose the ranks and achieved the title of Fleet Admiral, being in charge of the entire Navy. It's Blackbeard, Luffy, Buggy, and Akainu. They're the 4 that have all elevated in those extents. You know what I'm saying? So I think they're the only ones that you can really say are Luffy's proper rivals. Now, there's artificial rivals in the Supernova or in Kobe and Smoker, but realistically, we know that Luffy's just a step above him in a significant way. Like, even looking at Law and Kid, yeah, okay, 2v1, they took out Big Mom, right? Luffy with his Haki, Luffy with his awakening, it is almost comedic how much more he has than Kid and Law, even if they've got better abilities than him from jump, you know what I mean? So it's hard. It's interesting though. Man. I reached the rank of Fleet Admiral during one hell of an era. I don't know where they... I don't care where they try to hit us. We'll strike back and return fire on all points. That's pretty much Akayunu saying he's making a move next chapter, isn't it? Damn. Is there going to be a Gear 6 or not? Nah. I don't think there's a Gear 6 that's ever going to happen. I think it's going to stay at Gear 5. But I think what's going to happen is we're going... Like, Luffy versus Kaido in Gear 5 was a bit of a low diff. Because Luffy hasn't actually come up with any techniques or names for abilities yet or anything like that. Like, hear me out here. I actually thought about this the other day. So you know how Luffy can turn sort of giant, right? And he can still stretch and he's still rubbery and all that sort of stuff. Because it's sort of Toon Forcey, what if Luffy does one of those things that we see in like other cartoons and that, where it's like he stretches his arm out into space and he like punches around the world and hits you in the back of the head. You know what I mean? Crazy stuff like that. Like with his awakening, that could technically be possible. And like the more heated Luffy gets and the bigger the badder the enemies get, the more Luffy might have to do some crazy stuff like that in the future. Not to mention, right, we see him being able to turn the environment around him into lava. Into rubber. So imagine like Akainu awakens, Akainu's like fighting him, turns the area into lava, and then Luffy still just bounces on it. You mean like Gear 4 Bounce Man and Gear 4 Snake Man? Yeah. Like, you know his Python technique? Imagine that in Gear 5, right? But instead of him retracting, he just stretches endlessly. And like, say someone just dodges and is like, huh, that's not gonna... And the punch just goes around the world and hits them. You know what I mean? Crazy stuff like that's gonna happen. Because Oda's really gonna keep the goofiness alive, I reckon. I reckon it'll be good like that. Which is gonna be funny because like we've seen in... and I've got to cover this properly, right? I haven't read it through all properly, but I need to cover this better. But I did see in the Road to Laughtale stuff, like, the more Luffy laughs, the stronger he gets in Gear 5. You know what I mean? So, like, who knows? Is there going to be a limit to Gear 5? No. No. There's not going to be a limit to Gear 5, and I'll tell you why. There have been limits put in place for every single one of Luffy's abilities up until now. Now, Luffy's hit freedom. He's liberated himself of his of his drawbacks for fighting, or his limits for fighting. Once he gets used to them, instead of him having drawbacks going forward, you have to think other people are going to fight better, freer, deadlier. You know what I mean? Best examples are, look at the Admirals. The Admirals and Blackbeard are really Luffy's main enemies from this point on, right? So, let's start at the bottom of the totem pole at the moment. You have Greenbull. Let's just say it's Greenbull for now, right? Greenbull is a Logia that's a forest. We saw he can heal. We saw he's more durable technically than Kaido at this point in time, even if he's not necessarily better combatant or doesn't have as good Haki, who knows, right? You've got him. Essentially, Luffy fighting him, you got to think it's like Luffy fighting Katakuri all over again, just upgraded. It's still a slogfest. Even though Luffy's doing some crazy stuff, right? It's still a slogfest. Just thankfully, he's like more immune to blunt force damage in Gear 5. Right? Then, okay, who's next? Fujitora? Let's just say Fujitora. Fujitora uses gravity on Luffy, and Luffy just becomes pancake Luffy while fighting. Sort of thing. But Luffy, like, Fujitora's gravity. Like, oh my god, Kaido lifted up Onigashima. Fuji's doing that. And then using it as a weapon. And then he's got 6 more lined up, ready to use as a weapon. It's the same thing, right? Like we've never seen outside of Fujitora using gravity to crush Sabo as well. We haven't seen him use it seriously on other people. But you got to remember, he made a hole so far down instantly that you can't see the bottom, instantly crushing and killing people. Fujitora is crazy like that. That's not to mention, we've seen his devil fruit work on people, right? What's to stop him just lifting people up in the air so they can't fight and so they can't get away? Kizaru, I stand by this, right? I stand by this because no one can prove me wrong. In the manga, not the anime, because the anime makes crazy sort of shit up all the time. In the manga, not a single person has defended against a Kizaru laser. Kizaru's laser has always penetrated and injured people. Whether it be from a pacifista or whatever, no one has actually successfully, deflected the laser. They've dodged it, but they've never blocked a Kizaru laser. The only semi-exceptions are Rayleigh clashing in a close sword fight with Kizaru's lightsaber, which you could argue is just Haki on Haki. So it wasn't really much of a sword thing, or a devil fruit thing. And it wasn't a laser because he made a construct out of light instead of shooting a laser beam. And Marco and Marineford, but Marco actually didn't deflect the attacks. He got shot, they did damage, they blew up, they hurt him, and he just healed from them. So it's just like, it just so happened that it was like his healing factor was so good that he could just tank that. You know what I mean? Whereas if that was anyone else, I mean, have you seen the end of Film Z? Yes! Okay, who else? Blackbeard? He can touch you and turn off your devil fruit, so Gear 5 doesn't become a thing anymore. And then Quake to the face, Quake to the face, Quake to the nuts. Just quake it out. You know what I mean? Then, moving on. We got Akainu. Akainu is just Magma Man. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't actually have to touch you with the magma to beat you, because we've seen that being in the presence of his magma for more than a few moments at a time is enough for you to suffocate when he's actually fighting. So unless you are a Logia yourself, right? And you can just turn into your element instead of necessarily breathing in that moment. Fighting Akainu results in hibernation sickness. You know what I mean? Could it be Marco and Kizaru? Dude, like I said, and I see you acknowledge it, but like I said, no one's actually deflected. No one's actually successfully deflected or defended against a Kizaru laser. I'll tell you what has happened though. A single one of those lasers, which, by the way, the pacifistas all have, Frankie has, a single one of those lasers one-shot a Topirobot, one-shot a number, melted a door that Sanji couldn't break down, right? If you've seen Film Z, it technically took out an admiral, right? And Big Mom was kind of like, whoo, thank you didn't shoot me with that laser, Mr. Frankie, Mr. Cyborg. Ged, yo. Good to see you, my guy. Good to see you. Yo, we've been going for a while. Get your comments in now, because I was getting close to wrapping up. But, that is unless Eggs for Brekkie is available, but I don't think he will be, because I think he's tied up today. We'll see. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, you made it? Yes, you did, sir. Yes, you did. By the way, if you haven't done so already, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications for content like this, all that stuff. Check out the socials, check out all the other stuff that we do, it's good. Also, keep an eye out, because I'm up to the last 4 episodes of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1. So if you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan or you wanted to get into it, alright, that's been coming out on the channel and I've almost finished the first season. So I'm getting excited in that as well. I have a good question. I have a good one, guys. Go. Kuma, peace out. Cheers for coming by. Cheers for coming by. Like I said, I was gonna wrap the stream up. So Ged, if you have anything, get your theories in now. Theory time. I think Shanks will make his move for One Piece now since the Straw Hat is needed to get. Ooh. You think the Straw Hat is needed to get there? Is it? I thought that Shanks might just go to, go to Laugh Tale and wait there, and that's when Luffy and Shanks meet. Shanks is just waiting at Laugh Tale, and Luffy rocks up and is like, "What? You here all the time? No, that's not fair." It's like, "You're a great pirate, yeah, yada yada yada." Another possibility is, what if Shanks has the last road poneglyph at this point? And once Luffy's taken out the competition, like you said, I've got to take down Shanks last, or at least not first. Definitely interesting. Oh my god. Alright, I'm going to wrap the stream up there. I'm sorry, Ged. I know you only just got here, my guy, but we've been going for 2 hours. So go back, watch the stream from the beginning, okay, my guy? But we haven't done the discussion video. We're going to do that over the weekend. I don't know when exactly, but my throat is dying here and I have not eaten today. So I need to get some fuel in me. I need to heal up. I need to get that sustenance. Alright, we can't all be like Green Bull and be a bigot that just photosynthesizes, sucks in the hatred of the people. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine, yo. Cheers, much love. That being said, right, this was chapter 1054 of One Piece Flame Emperor. What a damn good chapter. It was 10 out of 10. I was happy. I'm happy, right? Like I said before, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications for content like this, right? Check out the links for all the socials in the description down below. Peace, nothing but love, nothing but respect. Have a damn good day.